Hello everyone, welcome to TELTAchat. Today we have Simon Sanga. He is a teacher in Singisi Secondary School, which is found in Meru, Arusha, Tanzania. So Simon has been with us in our TCPD webinars, Teacher Continuous Professional Development webinars. And so far he has been able to apply the knowledge learned in his class. So Simon, you're welcome. How are you?
I'm very fine, Madam Irene, and I'm so happy to be invited to this session today, where I will share my experience basing on the knowledge that I have acquired in TELTA program, the webinar program that we have been having. So I'm so happy. Thank you.
Very much welcome to our TELTAchat. So I just have one question. I want you to tell us how you have applied the knowledge you've gained in making your class active and interactive. So the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Madam Irene. I would like to admit from the very beginning that the TELTA program has been of invaluable help to me, and it has helped me to broaden my knowledge, and also it has imparted the skills that are very necessary for a 21st century teacher. You know, in the 21st century teaching and learning, we needed to make learners more active. It's quite different from the previous time, where you find that a teacher was just dominating the class. But nowadays we find the students are the ones to dominate the class. So through TELTA programs, I've learned that we need to make a classroom very interactive. And in doing so, I've started applying the knowledge that I've obtained from TELTA program, where I plan my lesson to be so much engaging, to make sure that every student participate in the teaching and learning process. In doing so, I normally use think, pair, share, where I ask students to think in pair, and then they discuss. So a student is given a question, and then they discuss pairwise. After that, they share to a bigger group, and then those people in that group, they make a presentation. That is number one. Number two, I sometimes divide them into groups, and then after dividing them into groups, I give them questions, guiding questions based on what I want to teach, and then they discuss. They write their answers on the Manila card, and then after writing on the Manila card, they post on the wall. After posting on the wall, I use two ways. Either one student from the group presents what they have discussed, reading on what they have written on the that Manila card, or sometimes I ask those students to do a gallery walk, whether they just go and visit and just look at those at what others have written. And then in doing so, I ask them that if you find there is a query somewhere, you have a comment, then those students comment on it, that Manila card. Then I use that one to correct, so it becomes very easy, because students, first of all, they have the teaching aid, which is very interactive. They also engage in creating that teaching aid, and then I use the same teaching aid to correct if there are misconceptions, students did not do the right things, if I have additional points, so I add those kind of things. So I make the classroom very interactive. And also, sometimes I use games. Of course, we plan a certain activity which links it to the lesson that I'm teaching. Then I create a certain game so that these students will also enjoy the game, and this avoids boredom in the classroom, because when the students participate in such kind of thing, it's just a game. Yes, they learn through games, but also it avoids boredom. This is what I've been just doing in the classroom, and I've just time when I could just dominate the class, lecturing, but nowadays the students are the ones who just give the knowledge, so they enjoy the lesson more than they did in the past. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing this. I understand us teachers who have been teaching for a long time, we've been lecturing our students, and now we are going to this interactive way whereby our students get to give out their views and opinions. When you are presenting, you talked about using gallery work where your students were passing through some works of other students and then they had to comment. We know our students come from Kiswahili medium schools in the primary school. How did you get to make sure that your students understand English, they can read and find errors in other students' work?
Okay. In fact, I agree with you that most of students in our schools are coming from a background where English language is not used as a medium of instruction. And this is where now the challenge comes. So when they join secondary schools, they join with limited English language proficiency, which affects their learning. So when in Form 1, the struggle is very big comparing to higher levels. I'm now in Form 4, but I can, I sometimes just review when these students were in Form 1, and then I compare now when they're in Form 4. So I found that they have at least improved, because we give them activities which help them to learn English language. For example, we have morning speech in the morning, the parade, where they have to speak what they know. That one helps them, and then we just correct them. We have we give the immediate feedback when a student maybe mispronounce the word, so we just try to correct them on the spot. And then in the classroom also, we encourage them reading. And I told them to buy a dictionary, because I normally tell them that a dictionary is a friend of any language learner. So they have a dictionary there. So whenever we find a difficult word, then they go read, because we have the topic in Form 1, which helps them to learn and have skills to use dictionaries. So we tell them just find the meaning of this word. So we cannot move unless we have understood what does that word mean. In such a way, you find that most of these terminologies which are being used at school are very common. So when they understand, it becomes easier for them to move with those kind of terminology. But also we have this sometimes in the group discussion. I normally encourage them to discuss in English language. I tell them, even if you speak a broken English that you consider as a broken English, try to use that one, because practice makes perfect. So as you keep on just doing that one, and then we correct each other in a long run, you find that you are improving your English language. So we have been having those activities, but yes, of course, it's a challenge, because the issue is that the higher you go, the limited capacity for you to master the language. So most of students are having the challenge because of poor background. And I would like to share with you that I've been doing a research on the influence of code switching and code mixing in teaching language. And as well, now I found that yes, code switching may help these students to learn English language. So because sometimes when you find that these maybe English words are not well understood by these students, sometimes you just tell them, even if you can directly translate, or sometimes you just give them the way, you just simplify the vocabularies to the lowest way, so that these students can at least grasp what you want them to understand. So they just learn that way. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for being with me in TELTAchat. And any last words, if you have anything to tell the teachers in Tanzania?
Actually, I would like to encourage most of teachers in Tanzania to join TELTA, especially English language teachers. TELTA has been helping us a lot, and they have learned a lot from this program. And I hope that this program will take us further if we really use whatever we learn and acquire from TELTA programs. So I urge most of teachers to join the TELTA, so that it can help them also to improve their teaching and learning process in the classroom. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Simon. Well, teachers, we had Simon try joining TELTA. We have different programs which will help enhance your teaching and profession careers. We have webinars, we have trainings. So please join TELTA, and let's take this to the next level. Thank you so much, Simon.
Thank you.